Hi you guys, hope you're well. So I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me regarding moving to Singapore or living as an expat in Singapore, and you guys left me a bunch of questions. If you're not already following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at The Vintage Vision. I told you guys on Instagram that my 1 year anniversary of living in Singapore is almost approaching, which is crazy. It's gone so fast. It's so weird. So I asked you guys if you had any questions for me. So I've picked a few of your questions out and I'm gonna go ahead and answer them. So the first question is, was there a time when you felt like going back to the UK because living in Singapore is hard? And the answer is absolutely no. It is not hard living in Singapore. I absolutely love it. I love it so much more than living in the UK. Mainly because of the weather, but no, there's never been a time where I thought, oh my god, I want to move back home. Never. Like, I get times where I feel like, oh, I wish I could just go pop home for the weekend, just see my friends and family, obviously, but it's not as easy as that. So, but in terms of wanting to move home, nope. Someone's asked if the prices here are expensive. Now, I've covered this a couple of times on my previous expat videos, so I'll link them down below. There's also a playlist I think you can watch through my old videos. As I've mentioned before, our rent is luckily paid for, so we don't have to worry about rent. But if you're moving over here and you've got to pay your own rent, yes, it is quite pricey. Like, I can still say, yeah, it is quite pricey. If you live in like a HDB, which is like an equivalent to like a council house back in the UK, or council flat, then rates will be a lot cheaper, but you obviously won't get like pools and more luxurious things, but you don't necessarily need that. So yeah, prices do vary, but I think generally, yes, the cost of living here is quite expensive. In terms of food, I've covered before, it is quite pricey. I'd say London prices, but in the shops you can get kind of normal cheaper price food, and then the higher up you go in the ranks of supermarkets, you will get the more expensive food. In terms of transport, there's been a lot of arguments over this on my previous videos. I'm talking about in terms of comparing to the UK, transport here is a lot cheaper. Now, I've had loads of Singaporeans saying, no, transport isn't cheap here. I'm talking about in comparison to the UK, yes, Singapore, the buses and the trains are so much more cheaper. So someone has asked me what my favourite spot is in sunny Singapore, and I've mentioned on Instagram, I love the Botanic Gardens. It's so gorgeous there, so pretty. It's only a couple of train stops away from me, so I love just going there, having a walk around. It is boiling there, but it's so pretty. So if you haven't checked that out already, or if you come to Singapore, definitely check out Botanic Gardens. So lovely there. We like going to Tanjong Beach Club some Sundays, which is really nice, just chill on the beach and get in the pool and have a drink or whatever. That's a really nice like Sunday afternoon thing to do. We also did McRitchie once, and I don't know if I'll do it again, but it's hard work. It's like a 3-hour walk, and you're absolutely drenched in sweat by the end of it, but I actually really enjoyed it. We all went with a bunch of friends, and it's just so pretty up there, and you see like monkeys and stuff, and yeah, just like being in the forest is really lovely. So I love McRitchie as well. If you've got any other places that you recommend, leave them down below. I've done a load of stuff that I haven't mentioned, but yeah, if there's any I haven't done, let me know down below. Do you see yourself staying longer than the original 3 years? So yeah, it's been a year already, so we've got 2 more years to go. In terms of staying here longer, I'm really not sure yet. Like, I wouldn't say no, but I also think it's opened my mind up to living in other places now. Like, now I know it's not as scary to move country. I feel like I could probably do it again somewhere else. So yeah, I've got an open mind about that. I would love to stay here as long as I can, because a year would never be long enough. Like, the amount of travelling that we want to do around like Southeast Asia and like this side of the world, we need longer than a year. So I'm glad we're staying for 3 years, but yeah, I wouldn't say no. What is one thing in Singapore you haven't tried yet? Food, place, activity that you still want to try. I still haven't been to Marina Bay Sands Hotel, which is like the thing you do. So yeah, I need to go there. I still haven't been on the Singapore Flyer. In terms of food, there's a lot of food I can't try because I'm allergic to seafood, so it kind of makes things difficult. I haven't tried durian. Justin has tried it and he said that he absolutely hated it. But yeah, I still haven't tried it. I mean, it stinks, like I can't stand the smell, so I would assume that I will hate it, but I should try it before I make my mind up. So yeah, maybe I should film me trying durian. Let me know if you want to see that. Did you have a really long, hard time thinking about whether you should move to Singapore? Well, as I mentioned in my videos a year ago now, it's crazy. We only had like a month's notice before we just had to decide if we wanted to come or not, because Justin's work wanted to transfer him over here, and we literally had a work's notice. So he asked me if I wanted to come. I don't think he would have come if I had said no. So it was really down to me to decide, which was really scary in such a short amount of time. But in hindsight, I'm kind of glad that I didn't have too long to decide, because I don't know, like it didn't drag out as much. I feel like we just made a decision, we had a few weeks to get ready, and then we were gone. Whereas if we had known like a long time in advance, I probably would have been maybe more hesitant about it. So yeah, I didn't really have a long time to think about it. Would you rather have a family and bring your children up in England or Singapore? That's a really interesting question, because I've been thinking about that, and me and my friend were talking about it. In terms of bringing your children up somewhere, I would love to bring them up in somewhere like Singapore. Like, it's a beautiful country, I love it here. The travelling would be great, and just, oh, I would love to, if I was a kid, I would love to be brought up in a hot country. But also it's almost like you'd want your child to have the same kind of upbringing as you had in school, or same kind of schooling you had, because that's the only one you can think of in terms of, in that side of things. Maybe having my kid go to school in England would be maybe a better option for me, and I would assume that it's cheaper. I guess you have to pay for school in here. So I think in terms of it's easier, I think it'd probably be easier to bring up kids in the UK. Not saying that I want to do it, because that means if I bring up my kids in the UK, I'll be living in the UK longer, which I'm not too keen on right now, but we'll see. Like, I don't know, I haven't thought that far ahead. What is your best experience thus far while living in Singapore? I would just say the travelling that we've done from Singapore so far has been great. So I've been here a year, and in this year we've done Tokyo, Perth in Australia, we did a place called Kapas Island in Malaysia, I've done Bali twice, we did Bintan, Batam, yeah, and I think that's it so far. But yeah, like crazy amounts of holidays, like I just can't complain. We try and go somewhere every month, so it's been amazing for travelling. So a lot of great memories so far. So I've had a lot of questions about getting jobs here and how easy it is to get work here. I was very lucky in, I had one interview and I got the job. That was my first interview and I ended up getting the job. But you have to have, you don't have to have a degree, but a degree is appealing, and you have to have experience when you're looking for a job here. That's what they're looking for, experience, because why would they choose you over a local is the main reason for that. So you have to have something appealing about yourself, I suppose. But yeah, in terms of how easy it is to find a job, I can only tell you from my experience, which obviously is quite lucky. A lot of people get transferred out here from their companies at home, so they've already come out here with a job. But if you're like me and you're tagging along maybe with your boyfriend or whatever, and you need to find a job, I would just say just get at it as soon as you get here. Start looking, start applying. You've got to be actively looking, and hopefully it will work out for you. But do bear in mind that you need some kind of experience, yeah, and a reason why they would choose you over a local. If any of you have got any experience of finding jobs here, let me know your stories down below so everyone else can take a look. I think that would be really helpful and interesting for everyone that's asking me. Someone asked, I may be moving in 6 months. It's cold in New Zealand. Should I bother bringing all my clothes? I would say definitely leave all your warm clothes at home. There's absolutely no point bringing them unless you're going to go somewhere like Japan or Korea like we did, where you do need a few warm clothes, but you can get that when you're here. Like, there's absolutely no point. You just need a couple of pairs of jeans, shorts and t-shirts, and just, yeah, you'll never be layering here. You'll never like throw on a cardigan. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's always like 33 degrees, so you absolutely don't need warm clothes. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave it at that now because I got so many questions. So I might do another Q&A, I might do like a part 2, just because I can't cram all the questions into one. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Give it a thumbs up if it was helpful. Do leave your experiences down below if you have any as well, but please don't argue in the comments. It's happening a lot in my previous videos, and I just don't want it. If you're going to start arguing, I'm going to delete your comments, so please don't leave any negativity. There's just no point. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. I've got like a playlist of all my expat living in Singapore videos. You can go check those out if you want, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. First thing I picked out is this gorgeous little card wallet. I am useless with my cards. I'm always losing train cards and my key card to the apartment. Like, it's really bad. I have to keep replacing it.